I think it's important also to just state that I didn't personally suffer from any, serious health issues or anything like that. However, when I was coaching people, I could clearly see, especially when I started, doing more in-depth coaching, I started to see some kind of pitfalls and some potential, areas to be a little bit more concerned about when you are 100% vegan, especially with people that have existing gut issues and some other kind of autoimmune conditions that make it really hard for them to digest fiber and certain plant nutrients and absorb the nutrients that they need to be optimally healthy, right? So in the last 5 years, I have felt that everything was good with myself. My wife was feeling good. I also, coach a lot of people to great shape, even though 95% of people who bought my custom meal plans and were not part of the actual intensive coaching program, because of the lack of accountability, people just fall off. So, and a vegan diet in itself is hard to follow for someone who's used to eating meat. So that also kind of makes the dropout rate higher. But I also believe in anecdotes, how you feel in your body. And I was feeling pretty good, apart from the time when I got injured on my back. I herniated my, L4, L5 disc. And my life completely changed then, because I was so used to, lifting heavy weights, playing soccer, running around, hiking all the time. And I just couldn't do any of it. It was completely ruining everything. And that put me in a really kind of depressed state that I've never been in before in my entire life. And I kind of, started spending a lot more time, in front of the computer, researching different things, different problems, issues with my back, what could potentially heal and make the healing process faster. And I couldn't really find that much. I mean, if you Google, how to fix herniated disc, it's yoga poses and stretches and not much else. Some people recommend surgery, although that is kind of a last resort scenario, and I didn't want to go down that route. And then I started listening to other sides of the story, because for the last 5 years, I was always of the opinion that a plant-based diet was not only, the most ethical and potentially environmentally friendly diet, but also the healthiest, the most optimal diet for human health. Because I am in the health space, I'm in the fitness and nutrition space, and this is what is being, put out there by a lot of vegan doctors and just influencers in general. They will make a strong case, or seemingly strong case, that the vegan diet is optimal. And when you're a vegan yourself, when you're ethical vegan and you've already decided on how to live your life and, for the rest of your life, you kind of, you get satisfied with, a small amount of information, with a small amount of, quote unquote proof. And you just, take those studies and those pieces of evidence as truth, or at least very strong evidence, and you just move on with your life because of that moral, ethical code that you have. So, we just felt, pretty good up until the injury. And when I got the injury, I started researching the other side, which, when you're a vegan, the other side means anything other than veganism, right? So there is no middle ground. There is no unbiased. It's either veganism or, murder and just bad science, essentially. So when I removed that kind of thought and just, accepted the fact that, we as people and science, especially in the nutrition space, has really not come that far. And a lot of times we overcomplicate things and we draw conclusions way too soon. And I just started listening to all kinds of camps. So, I listened to a lot of people who were more of the paleo preference, doctors that were more, keto, even carnivore like yourself. And I started, getting a lot more information that kind of went against what I always believed, which was the plant-based diet being the most optimal, and the best for human health. Even though, somehow supplements and that kind of stuff just went above my head. I just kind of accepted it as a kind of must have, because of the modern world that we now have, the sanitized world. This is what you hear all the time in the vegan community, is that we live in such a sanitized and cleansed world that we're not getting the B12 from drinking water from the water streams anymore. And you used to be able to get it from eating dirty vegetables and these things, even though even animals and monkeys are able to wash their vegetables. So I'm not sure how that kind of worked. I don't think people were eating dirt before either. So once I realized that, I looked into the studies, I realized that for sure B12 is missing, and there is no evidence that there was ever a time that humans were getting their water or the B12 from water streams, right? And in Game Changers, they actually make this point, and they reference a study which we can get into later, but it turned out that it wasn't a great study to represent this belief, right? So and then I just kind of kept researching, and mixed with my slow recovery from my back, and mixed with the people that I was coaching, and the people that I was in touch with in real life who are really struggling, who have been vegan for over a decade, who are now reconsidering things because of different health conditions, seeing that they can't digest anything and absorb anything other than animal products, and how hard they had to fight this belief system themselves. I kind of came to the realization that maybe this diet is not optimal, and definitely not healthy for everyone. Before I thought there was always a vegan solution to absolutely everything. Now I absolutely don't think that that is the case. And the reason for that can be discussed and debated, but there's definitely a lot of people that just cannot make a vegan diet work. And that is a new belief that has only been, in my life for the last 2 years or so.